It's the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast, your one-stop shop to dominate fantasy baseball and football. Come get some.
And yo, baby, yo, here we go. Let's start the show. It's the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast. It's your week number 2 waiver wire and preview episode. I'm your host, Jeff Trella. With me, as always, there's no chance of me getting this right. Yes, my brother from another mother. Trader Andy's in the house. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Same old. But we're in a different setup here today because the man of the hour is the birthday boy, Mr.
Woo!
Nick Meeby. What's good, man? How you doing?
Doing
Do you spend your birthday doing laundry again, huh?
No, I got Nancy's Townhouse Pizza today. It's good enough for me.
All right. I have no idea what that is, but
what did you say? What townhouse pizza?
How have you lived in Middlesex County and you've never tried that?
Never.
All right.
Well, we got this thing called pizza time.
What the hell's going on, man? We're losing viewers quickly. All right, guys. As we've said, we're going to spend the rest of the month mentioning and promoting for our boy Reed. The rally for Reed is coming up in another 2 weeks, so please read the crawl on the bottom. I'm not going to try to say the name. Sorry, Diana, I did not study your Cliff Notes that you sent. I'm going to still go with Jamiroquai. But you could Venmo to this family at hello, my name is Reed, R-E-E-D. Please help anything you can. The amount of time that it takes you to set one of your waiver wire claims for tonight, you could have Venmoed $1 to this family and helped out. So please, we really appreciate it if you take that extra step and take that moment to help out, please. All right, we always start our show up top with a victory lap. Birthday boy, what do you got for me?
Fishbowl victory, Warrior Bowl victory. We good.
Yeah,
Hot start.
Me too.
Hot start.
You want to just do Andy's crash and burn that he outscored both of us in Fishbowl but still lost?
Yeah.
I did outscore both of you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 159 here.
Yeah, our friend of the show, Mitch, gave me a nice little ass beating. I put up 197 points. I reached out to him on Twitter today and said thank you very much. He put up like 224, so I'm good with the results. So,
all right, cool. Is that your victory lap up there, Andy, or you don't got one today? Too busy licking your wounds?
No, losing is not a victory lap, but me and you not dealing with any home league crap. It's just a win right there. Not dealing with these petty owners that don't pay attention and just
team no fun. You guys are no fun. You guys must be a blast at birthday parties.
So I get to focus on DFS and my industry leagues, and then some baseball articles I have coming out next month as well. So carry on.
Beautiful, nice. Nick, anything else you want to cry about? You want to rant a little bit?
Yeah, I do.
All right, bring it.
Home leagues. I enjoy them. But
that's hilarious.
I put up on my work league $200 buy-in, 132 points. I had Darren Waller, CeeDee Lamb, you name it. I lost by 5 points because Aaron Rodgers and the Packers defense combined for 3 points, and that was like a 160-point team right there. And now I lose. And I was talking to my neighbor about this. Fantasy should be head-to-head, or it should be maybe take the top 5 or top 6 and give them a win too. And it's like playing 2 games a week. So it's kind of giving some people an advantage, but aggravating, frustrating. I think I'm going to go 0-16 now.
Well, right. Me and you did not talk about any of this, and where our things are, intertwining very much, because my crash and burn actually was my cash game builds, starting with the man bun himself, Aaron Rodgers, who totally destroyed me. I just want to run up to him and cut the ponytail off, and I feel like he'll be better. And people are going back to the well this week with him.
He's going 5 touchdowns against Detroit. No Okuda. Okuda's done. So, Monday Night Football in Green Bay.
Kidding. Yeah, you said that. You said that perfectly, Nick. Absolutely, 100%. All right, Andy, make sure your phone's nearby because you're already turning max head on us over here. We're probably going to lose you.
Am I really?
Yeah. You're spinning and not winning over there. All right, so Nick, let's start talking some waiver wire, and there's one. Yeah. There's one big name out there that's not such a big name, and that's Elijah Mitchell. So why don't we saw Mr. Most Hurt get hurt once again. So
what you did there.
Where are you at with this?
So Mostert's done for the season. He's injury prone. We were expecting something potentially to happen. Trey Sermon was the guy. He was being drafted round 8, round 9, redraft, right around the Michael Carter territory, and surprised and active. Elijah Mitchell, JaMychal Hasty come in there. They're the running back 2 and 3. Hasty does steal a 1-carry touchdown. Mitchell was a star. He crushed it all game long. He's a 6th-round rookie, so he is in favor. 19 carries for $104 and a touchdown. It's pretty damn good. But I don't know. If you need a running back, I'd go for it, but I'd pump the brakes a little bit on this one just because it's a Kyle Shanahan offense, and they like to intertwine running backs here and there. Next week, Sermon could be active, and Sermon could have 20 carries. JaMychal Hasty could have carries. Jeff Wilson's on IR. He's a good, flyer you can put on IR or something. If you really need a running back, 40-50% is going to have to get Mitchell. I'm not going higher than 30%. That's just me.
I wouldn't do it at all.
I wouldn't go that high.
You guys know how I am, and I'm the king of I just can't follow the herd, and I have to be the contrarian and go the opposite of what everybody else says. Trey Sermon was inactive because Elijah Mitchell had a role on special teams, and he was forced into this role as a lead back because of Most Hurt getting mostly hurt. And Trey Sermon is still going to have the same role he had. Mitchell might be a step in front of him, but it's only going to take one big series, and it's flip-flop, and it's right back. Yeah. So I wouldn't really be in on this. I really, like, if anything else, I'd be the one stashing Jeff Wilson right now, thinking maybe he'll come back into that Mostert role, and Sermon's still going to have the role that was expected. So
here's the thing with Jeff Wilson. You have to pay attention to your leagues because a lot of teams you can add straight from free agency to an IR spot. And if you're able to do that, Jeff Wilson's a great candidate for that.
Yeah, definitely. I can't hurt that. Guys, we're starting now. This is our own YouTube channel, and we just got this started. This is our 2nd episode, so we really appreciate if you hit the like and subscribe button as much as you can, please. I've been told that the Facebook has kind of crashed on us right now. It's not really streaming properly through Facebook today. I apologize about that. That might have something to do with it. I don't know. It looks like the internet is not being the biggest fan to me and Andy, so we'll see. If we're in there, we're in there. If we're not, we're not. We're sorry about that. We'll drop the link back in for you to rewatch it if you were trying to check it out. But you can see it on my Twitter feed, I do believe. Right? But please, no matter where you're watching it, hit the like, hit the subscribe, give us that retweet. We really appreciate that. We're building from scratch here on our own channel, so your support is needed. So Nick, you're saying kind of not necessarily stay away from Elijah Mitchell. If you had Mostert, apparently you're definitely going to be bidding on him. But
in a league where if you have 3-4 competent backs, I wouldn't go crazy on them. I mean, obviously, if you're in the middle of the waivers, like 4, 5, 6, you're not getting them. I'd throw a shot on them, but for budget wise, I'm out of 100. $20, $30, maybe I'd go tops, and I would still pump the brakes on that because I think Sermon. I mean, I'm being biased because I drafted Sermon all over. I think Sermon's going to come in this Sunday and produce.
Take it back, yeah.
Not even take it back. Even if it's a 50-50 split backfield, that Mitchell price is going to be overinflated. I would not have Mitchell if it's a 50-50 backfield. If you're going to spend 40-50% of your 100% people are going to do this week tonight. You'd want a bell cow. I'd rather hold that money for a star that gets injured and a backup gets elevated or something to that extent.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
That's I'm sorry, you go.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I was just trying to think of say like Austin Eckler. His hamstring completely tore. I hope that doesn't happen because I drafted him in 8,000 leagues. Larry Roundtree would become the top ad everywhere. Miles Sanders, if something happens to him, Gainwell, who I am actually a big fan of this week, would catapult to that top and be well worth your money.
Yeah, definitely. See, the one argument in favor of not necessarily Mitchell, but any player going kind of deep in 30 to 50% is if you look at your fab dollars spent per week on your team, there's no better time than preseason or week 1 to spend that money, right?
Yeah, you'll be aggressive early sometimes.
Right. So if there's 16 more weeks coming into play, and you drop $32, you're only spending $2 a week on Mr. Mitchell. So that's not that bad. So I really wouldn't look at it as really a flop if it fails. You only really spent $2 a week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All right, let's move on. Talk about a couple more running backs. The one that I actually drafted a lot, and I'm going to sound like a crazy person because I'm down on him now versus before, even though he had 26 carries, is Mark Ingram. And I've actually reversed course, even though he's going to be one of the hot waiver ads. What do you think about Ingram?
I mean, they played the Jaguars and the Urban Meyer, pros there, and they absolutely crushed them. And just because of the game flow, he had 26 carries. Lindsey, Burkhead, David Johnson had 15 touches between the three of them. So Ingram had 26 touches, but he was only on the field for 45% of the snaps. So he wasn't even on the field for the majority of the time. I didn't think he had any catches in the game or targets.
Right.
So in games that they're going to be losing, he's not going to be seeing the field. Just because he's off the field 55% of the time, you're going to have Lindsey, you're going to have Johnson, Burkhead. They're going to be seeing the field more than him. So it's an easy fade for me.
Right. Andy, I know you were a big Ingram fan back in the day, but it's just a different situation being that kind of back. On the Saints where you're complimented by Kamara, on the Ravens where you're complimented by Dobbins. And he's just a grinder and a goal line guy, and a grind it out at the end. You in on him at all, or you kind of think that this is fool's gold?
I think it's just going to be wind up being like a 3 or 4 headed monster there. I think a lot of people they're going to go with the hot hand each week, and some people are going to have a roll one week and some might not the next week. So just tread lightly.
Yeah. I think they're going to be the crappy New England Patriots. Right. And they even got Sexy Rexy there in the fold, which adds to it. So yeah, I'm out. No Ingram for me. I did draft him in a few places just in case that this happened. I had a feeling that there was a chance he might be a featured back, but once I saw the game flow and how it came out, I just think he's going to end up getting overbid on this week.
100%.
All right. Cordero Patterson, a little bit confusing here. I didn't watch this game, but apparently he lined up in like 4 different positions and was on the field quite a bit. So where are you at with Cordero Patterson? I know, Andy, you're looking at how many dollars to spend on him in your fishbowl league, right?
I like him. He does everything. Gives him more chances to stay on the field and possibly get more touches. And on a team where I lost a couple of running backs, he fits in there pretty nicely. He could, one little injury to Mike Davis and boom, he's in there.
Oh no, it's not going to be Wayne Gallman season.
Oh my God, that's all we heard.
Oh my God. Not from this site.
Oh my God. All we heard.
That's hilarious. All right. I'm out on Cordero Patterson unless you're in like a 5 point per reception kind of league or something like that. I don't know. Something crazy.
I need him as depth.
Definitely. He's the kind of, like Nick was just talking about, people that would fall into feature backs. He's nowhere near that whatsoever. If there was an injury to Mike Davis, Patterson would see only very little of an increase. He would stay in the exact same role, and the carries would spread out elsewhere. I'm pretty sure of that. All right, James White looked to be himself this week.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen seasons with Mr. Brady where James White was a running back one, a top 12 running back in PPR formats. Do we think we might be back on that plane again?
Well, the thing with New England is Ramondre Stevenson, his first carry, fumbled. Damian Harris had a crucial fumble. Belichick, Jonas Gray. I keep throwing that example out every time I can. Jonas Gray had some fumble issues, or he overslept his alarm. And Belichick basically cut his ass. So I think James White has his role. 6 catches, 7 targets. PPR.
Right.
PPR machine.
Right. I hear you. Josh, we already talked about Elijah Mitchell. We're kind of fading him a little bit. Sorry, there's somebody in the chat asking a question of us. We're not going up to 30%. Listen back to us. You can reach out to us on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll go over it again for you.
Save your money.
Definitely. Definitely. The thing about James White that I noticed, and I'm a Dolphins fan, so I watched every minute of that game. Mac Jones, how they've been comparing him to Tom Brady?
Don't say it.
I know. He's not even close to Tom Brady. But the qualities that they compare are very, very similar. His pocket awareness and his ability to get out of trouble is ridiculous. Like, he looked like Tom Brady in the pocket. Just knows when it's coming. And White is always going to be there for the dump off. This guy's not going to take many sacks. He's going to get the ball to James White in that scenario. And that's how Tom Brady made his money. So I think it's going to be there. I think that's going to be a solid role, man. And I can't disagree with anything that you said.
What about Alex Smith?
He's dead.
No, Alex Smith. No. I mean, like, I heard comparisons about Mac Jones being like more like Alex Smith, having the pocket awareness, being able to get out of the trouble and dump off, and
yeah, I can see that.
So I want to compare him to Tom freaking Brady. Okay, let's just compare him to.
I compared a particular trait to that of Brady only because he's with the same coach, and there may be a similar result as far as James White is concerned.
Okay.
No.
All right. All right. The next back we want to talk about on the waiver wire. I already told you this guy was going to pop off, and he went and did it, and everybody's pissed. What are you doing, Urban Meyer? But it's Carlos Hyde, man. The guy's going to play. He had the major snap share, and I think it's not going to change that much. Game flow is important. We did say that, but they're not going to win too many games. So Hyde's going to be on the field. There's not going to be opportunity for James Robinson to grind it out all that much.
Disagree.
Ooh.
Disagree.
You're hoping to disagree.
I'm telling you, it was a bad game flow last week.
It's always going to be a bad game flow. The team's terrible.
Yeah.
They're going to be behind all the time, and they got to keep Hyde on the field to protect the quarterback, their investment from their bad offensive line. That's what it comes down to, man. Robinson's a great runner, man. He's one of the best in the league, but he can't do the things Carlos Hyde does in pass protection, so he's not going to see the field as much. He didn't touch the ball until the second half. Right?
All right. It was concerning.
Yeah, I wouldn't be picking up Carlos Hyde for fantasy. No, but
no. No.
Right. It's reason to
it's pause. Frustrating.
It's reason to pause on Robinson a little bit.
And he was supposed to be the start of the week.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was all over him in DFS.
I had him as my start of the week, and Urban Meyer destroyed that.
Yep. All right. I'd pop it up on the screen, but Andy, how about you give us one? Moron. All right. Kenneth Gainwell looked good, man.
I like him.
Good.
This is the guy I would target in my top waiver.
Right. Really? You'd put him over
not over Mitchell. It would be a close. He's like a 1B for me. Right. Just because I think he has more season-long potential. I think Mitchell offers that short burst. I think Gainwell can be the season-long value right there. Miles Sanders didn't impress last year. Boston Scott was non-existent. Gainwell, 37 rushing yards and a touchdown on 9 carries, 2 catches. He played it all. I think he's going to be the guy if something happens to Sanders.
Right. The only thing is, I wouldn't recommend dropping too many dollars on Gainwell right now. Because they even anything more than like $5, because they play the 49ers next week, and he's likely to lay a little bit of an egg. And if somebody outbids you over that 5, they're likely to cut him again next week, and then you get him even cheaper. So I would keep your bid under $5. If you get him, great. If not, the guy that beat you and paid that money is going to end up waiving him next week because he's not going to pop off.
Yep.
Makes sense?
Yep.
Cool. All right, Nick, I think one of your favorite stashes this week comes out of New Orleans and the Chargers.
Yeah.
Which one of those two do you like the most as a stash?
You
could like them both the same.
I do like them both. I'm going to say Roundtree just because with Eckler, he didn't have a catch at all. You could definitely tell the hamstring wasn't 100% in this game. Roundtree, he was the main guy. Justin Jackson had 1 carry. Joshua Kelly was non-existent. Roundtree had 8 carries. It's clear, and I've been touting him all summer, saying he's the guy. He's the guy. He's on my fishbowl team. He's the guy. He's the backup. If Austin Eckler's hamstring were to reactivate something, he's the one we're adding. And then you go to New Orleans, where Latavius Murray was cut, Tony Jones was elevated, and Tony Jones had 11 carries on Sunday against the Packers, double-digit carries. I think that says enough right there.
All right, makes sense. All right, let's slide over to the wide receiver position real quick. Let's go out to Denver. Where we saw Mr. Jerry Jeudy get hurt. They're saying 4 to 6 weeks he'll be out.
Yeah, it sucks.
Right. So 4 to 6 out, and then you're worried about him in the 5th to 7th, whatever that might be.
Mm-hmm.
The first one back. So you're getting a good 6 or almost 2 months out of Tim Patrick on the field quite a bit. So is this somebody that you're buying in on?
Gonna have to. They're gonna need somebody outside. I mean, it's either Patrick or KJ Hamler. Hamler was a wide open touchdown drop away from being the top waiver receiver ad. Tim Patrick had a pretty good season last year. He was on my fishbowl team too. He did me very well. Caught 4 passes, 39 yards, and a touchdown. I think he's the outside guy, and I think Hamler slides on the inside. So I think Tim Patrick does have value. I mean, the Broncos playing the Jaguars, and they're playing the Jets in the next 2 weeks.
I did see a nice connection. It seemed like there's a nice little bond going between Bridgewater and Hamler. Especially them hooking up big time in the preseason. Oh, that was locked actually through that too. So, but he's getting open. He made a drop, but you know what? I think Hamler has a lot of upside.
Mm-hmm. Right. Nice. All right. So let's move on to some other wide receivers. Now here's the other thing too, is we identified early in this offseason how deep the wide receiver pool is.
Yeah.
So if you drafted well, even in this new role, you probably have 5 wide receivers you feel better about than Tim Patrick on your team, right?
100%. This is a deep league ad.
Right.
None of these guys are guys that I would drop anybody I drafted for, unless there's an injury or something to that extent.
Right. All right. Well said on that. Absolutely. Yeah. We're talking mostly 12 teams and above. I just want to clarify too. 50% rostered. Somebody asked me today why I didn't put Deebo Samuel in there. He's 89% rostered. We're going guys that are not usually on the waivers. Well, that's the thing. What do you think of when you see Deebo Samuel is 89% rostered? Like, my first
he should be rostered.
What kind of ding dong league is those other 11%? Right?
Yeah.
Well, you just found somebody that plays in one of those. So, yeah. I mean, there's 8 team leagues out there and 10 team leagues. So they're definitely going to be a little bit thinner. But those are your roster is mainly an all-star team in that kind of league. So
yeah.
All right, cool. So let's move on to the Cowboys. Widely available, Cedric Wilson. Any interest in that with the injury to Mr. Gallup?
That's another deep league ad. Gallup's out 3 to 5 weeks with the calf injury. Wilson elevates immediately. He only had 3 catches on Thursday night, but I believe the injury was late anyway. He's a dart throw. If you're desperate, if you're in a fish bowl, a warrior bowl, and you just got to take a shot, why not? Dak looked good. He was slinging it all day.
Right. Personally, my take on it is that you're going to see more targets to the 2 tight ends rather than an increase for Cedric Wilson. Wilson will be on the field a little bit, but I think this is more of a win for Blake Jarwin than it is for Cedric Wilson personally.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right. I want to go to the Colts for a minute, and we're going to start with Andy because I want to see him get pissed off. It wasn't Paris Campbell.
No.
Right? I always get burned, man. Freaking Zach Pascal, man. Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
Pascal.
Are you kidding me with this guy? I actually tweeted, F you, Pascal. Like, are you kidding me? Like, every year I like, it's the first game of the year. Like, last year it was like, oh, we're going to crush Paris. Campbell's going to go nuts.
Yeah, sure.
And then he got hurt, and then there goes our FanDuel lineup. Same thing this year, this week with
Pittman.
My cash game lineup. Rodgers, James Robinson, Michael Pittman, crash and burn. Moron.
That's great. All right, Nick, do you have a feeling? I have a feeling, and tell me if I'm wrong, that people are going to pick up Pascal, and then next week they're like, why the hell did I do that?
Yeah, why the hell did I pick him up? He got 2 catches for 5 yards.
Right.
Drop his ass. It's so easy pass, but if you're playing in a 14-team, 16-team, maybe even, I would possibly look at him. Pittman and Campbell are the guys, and then if T.Y. Hilton never gets out of glass, he'll be back eventually.
Right. I agree with you. All right, let's go to the Rams real quick. Nick looks old now.
What I do?
I don't know. Pig Bird said you look old now, so I'm
tired.
Yeah,
it's past my bedtime.
Yeah. So let's talk about Van Jefferson for a minute. What's your take on Jefferson's performance the other night?
Stafford liked him. Stafford was a big fan of him. 3 targets, 80 yards, a touchdown. Woods and Kupp are obviously the outside guys, and Jefferson's lined by the middle. Deshaun Jackson's there, but he's like 50. He's old, not me.
Right.
But no, I think Van Jefferson's a slot man. I think he's a good option there.
All right. I think this is more of a dynasty stash than anything. And I was watching that game. We had some coin on the game, especially on the over. So I was excited by that play, but the nearest defender was laying on the ground. Like, you got it. Like, both of Stafford, and that's the one thing about overreaction after 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's saying Stafford MVP, Stafford MVP, Stafford MVP. He threw 2 touchdowns, and both of them, the defender was laying on the floor. Like, nobody even tried. The Cooper Kupp touchdown, there was nobody within like 20 yards.
The Robert Woods one was nice, but the first 2 were slam dunks.
Right. So that's it. I mean, Jefferson burned the guy. He broke his ankles. He's laying on the ground, so it was uncontested. And then on the next series, he tried to force it to Van Jefferson twice unsuccessfully. It looked like he was interested in him, but I think he got a little tired. He's like, all right, that didn't work. So I would tread lightly. Don't think that this is the next Justin Jefferson or anything like that. It's nothing crazy. It's not going to repeat itself like that. We're not looking at 60-yard touchdowns every single week, right?
No.
Right. All right, so I couldn't make any sense out of the Arizona Cardinals whatsoever what's going on here. By far the most 4 wide sets in all of the NFL. By far, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need it. So what's your take on just the whole wide receiver? Obviously, Hopkins is Hopkins. He's a Hall of Famer. What about the rest of the wide receiver core?
Yeah, so Christian Kirk, he was underperforming last year. He showed up on Sunday, 5 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did good. I don't know if he can keep that up though, because last year, showed us he couldn't. But we'll see. I like Rondell more. Get it more. I'll see myself out. He brought in. He had 4 catches, 5 targets, 68 yards. I see Rondell Moore as a Deebo Samuel type on the offense. Seeing some jet sweeps, seeing a lot of good stuff. 4 receiver sets means he's always going to be out there. And he's right now got QB1 behind him.
Yeah, no doubt. See, the thing that worries me about the whole situation is that I always saw Christian Kirk as a natural slot receiver who was blocked by a Hall of Fame slot receiver in Larry Fitzgerald. And I always thought that he was going to get that opportunity to step in. But when A.J. Green got brought in and they drafted Rondell Moore, I'm like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. Kirk must be on the way out. I guess he didn't develop. But he played in that exact role this past week. And look at what the hell he did, man. He popped off big.
Did very well.
So, I don't know. Andy, I'm starting to worry about your boy, A.J. It didn't look good, man. It didn't look good. It hurt a couple of my lineups.
Well, I also said that I wasn't going to play him in any of my leagues because I just didn't know what the role was going to be. But I think long term, I think he's going to get his touches. He's going to do pretty well. But, Kyler's going to move the ball around and spread around. So, it's going to be one of those things like it's going to be Hopkins and then one of these other guys is going to have a good game.
Hey, look at the price that A.J. Green didn't hurt himself. So he's into week 2.
Oh, man. Yeah, but when you're a DFS player, you want them to hurt themselves if they only get four PPR points for the week. It's like you couldn't have at least tore your hamstring while you're at it. So, I don't know. All right, so let's talk about Mr. Terrace Marshall Jr., man. This is a guy I really liked in the offseason. I didn't get enough of him. Looked pretty good, huh?
Yeah, he had 6 targets from Darnold. So he didn't have a big stat line, over 20 yards. Like I said, not a big stat line, but he was involved, and he's out there consistently. So he's somebody that could pop off and be cheap.
Yeah, see, that's something I look at more than the actual stat line with a rookie is are they on the field and are they being targeted? Because it'll work itself out eventually, right?
Yeah, 6 targets.
Right, 6 targets versus Van Jefferson with 2 targets and just caught a long touchdown. So who are you gonna run to the waiver wire for? I think Terrace Marshall's a better prospect and a much better player. And to be honest with you, like, call me stupid, I think this guy has wide receiver 1 written all over him. I think that's in his future.
Yeah,
I think you're looking at a future like 3rd round fantasy pick. So
100%, and I think he's gonna show that. Him and Rondell Moore, my 2 favorite waiver ads this week, and they weren't even the top dogs. Right. So I like them. Both gonna be studs.
All right, so let's talk about the NYG for a minute. Sterling Shepard.
Good.
Hell of a game. He's always looked like he was Danny Dimes' favorite target, and
that says
certainly didn't disappoint this week.
That says a lot. But my concern with him is Kenny Galladay, Darius Slayton,
Tony,
future bust Kadarius Toney.
Ouch.
Can he keep it up? Can he consistently get these target shares? That's the problem. And can Danny Dimes throw the football?
Can he stay on the field? He never stays on the field either.
Right. All right. A couple of dart throws, like absolute dart throws. Tell me which one that you're into. KJ Hamler, you mentioned a little bit, but what about Danny Amendola? Isn't he like the kicker for the Jets now or something like that?
That's a 66-yard bomb. Yeah. Bomb. Dude is jacked.
All right. So Danny Amendola, KJ Osborne, and Nelson Aguilar. Who are you interested in?
I'm going to put Nelson Aguilar as a 1 there because he is the number 1 receiver in New England.
No, he's not, bro. No, he's not. No,
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers, the stat line doesn't show it, but he was unguardable in this game. The Dolphins were in a soft zone the whole game, and by the second half, they're like, yo, X, get over here, man. Xavier Howard, man, you got to get on this guy. He was unstoppable in the first half. And then once they made that switch out of that soft zone and went up to man, that's when Nelson Aguilar started to have that game. So
yeah, and even taking Nelson Aguilar out of this, I liked what KJ Osborne did. I think he cemented himself as a 3rd receiver in Minnesota. He 9 targets, 76 yards. That's pretty impressive. I mean,
yeah.
Chris Herndon had 0 catches as a starting tight end there. Shocker.
Shocking.
Dalvin Cook is obviously a threat out of the backfield, but Justin Jefferson and Thielen are the top 2 targets. Then you have Osborne. Osborne was a 2020 special teams guy, I believe it was. So he came out of nowhere.
Was it one of you guys that said that Herndon was going to be a tight end one now? Oh, no. Oh, it wasn't on this show. Okay, got it.
It definitely was not on this show.
No, I will never say that.
Right.
0 catches. Outstanding. I have him in fishbowl, too, as my 22nd round pick.
Can you change that for us, please?
That might be a cut tonight or into tomorrow.
If you're getting cut in a tight end premium, you got issues.
You suck. You suck.
All right. Well, while we're talking tight ends, let's just stay there and go back to the quarterbacks at the end. Make them all wait for what they want. So, couple of good-looking prospects out of New Orleans Saints. Juwan Johnson, I actually gave him out as a DFS play this week, and he went off for 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
At minimum salary. I didn't use him enough, or I'd be your rich friend right now. And Adam Troutman actually led the team in targets. So, Nick, sort this out for me.
So, Troutman, 6 targets. Juwan Johnson, 3 targets. 9 targets. Winston completed 20 passes. That's almost 50% of his passes going on tight ends right there. Juwan Johnson had 2 touchdowns. Troutman had no touchdowns. We're looking at a Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard kind of situation here. You have absolutely no idea what you're going to get. You got to stream one. Juwan Johnson's a red zone guy. Troutman might be the middle of the field guy. It's a crapshoot, but they're definitely going to get looked.
I guess they took all of Marquez Callaway's catches. Okay.
Yeah,
listen. Let's talk about the Callaway play, right? So yeah, he ended up getting shadowed by Jair Alexander the whole freaking game. He was still a good play in DFS at $3,400. The result wasn't there. We only needed 9 PPR points from him. We didn't get there. You know, we saw the connection in the offseason. There's a great matchup. I'm going right back to him. I will explain why in deep on our Friday DFS show, but Callaway is a huge contrarian play this week, and I will be all over it again. I will still start him in my fishbowl lineup this week, and I will be getting 15 to 20 PPR points from him. Thank you very much. Watch that happen. So Nick, if I'm reading through the tea leaves correctly, you're saying buy on Troutman and just kind of sit on Johnson, right?
Yeah, I think Johnson's, I don't know, more of a, whatchamacallit. He's a tight end. He's a red zone guy. I think Juwan Johnson will get real value if Troutman were to get re-injured or something. Right now, it's a cloud of mess.
All right. What about Jared Cook?
Jared Cook was a favorite of mine all off season. I wrote about him a lot. Sunday showed why. 5 of 8 targets for 56 yards. And the Chargers offense historically favors their tight end, Hunter Henry, Antonio Gates. I'm not putting Jared Cook in the same conversation as Antonio Gates, but target share is there. Mike Williams had a big target share. Keenan Allen's a monster. Jared Cook's next.
All right, so let's check this out, right? Let's think like a DFS player for a minute. So who was the big name tight end this week that went off that everybody is clamoring about is back?
Oh, my God.
I'm as back as they get on him, but hear me out. Hear this out. Give me 2 minutes to talk. So, yes, I did say Gronk was going to get 10 touchdowns this year. And, yes, he got 2 of them already. But what I saw out of that wasn't wow, Gronk, right? As a DFS player, I saw the other end of it. I said, wow, Dallas is a sieve to the tight end. That's what you got to see. You don't look at the player. You look at what the defense gave that player. And guess who plays the Cowboys this week? Jared Cook. So we're going to talk about him quite a bit more. If you're streaming tight ends in your league, he's a boom play this week. He's going to go off. He's going to have a big game. If you're a DFS player, Andy and I might have something to say about Jared Cook later on.
Cheap, very cheap.
Yeah. Boom. All right. Next tight end on the board. We got 2 basic zeros here that both had good games. Pharaoh Brown, who I did mention in DFS as a play. He didn't get in the box, but he had a couple of catches. Obviously paid value easily. Do you remember, Nick? It was like I think 5 for 60 or something like that.
Farrell Brown, 4 for 67.
Okay, so he paid his minimum salary off easily in DFS.
Yeah.
If you have a tight end premium, he was worth playing because he gave you 14 points in that type of setup.
Mm-hmm.
And O'Shaughnessy from Jacksonville, same thing, man. Good game. Either of these guys worth having moving forward, or is there any shot at one of these guys turning into a top 12 tight end?
Pierce Farrell beat up Brevin Jordan. Maybe he's a starting tight end there. Who knows? That team's a dumpster fire. I don't know. I would probably say he's the guy to go to right now. For now, we'll see what happens next week.
All right.
And the Jags rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Maybe Sweet Prince throws to his safety blanket. We don't know.
All right. I'll give you a minute to talk about the Jets then. What about your boy Tyler Kroft?
Tyler Kroft,
I know you
right?
both like him.
Yeah, Kroft and Griffin got some touches there.
That's all you have to say about it.
He got some touches.
He touched the ball.
When Zach Wilson wasn't on his ass, he touched the ball.
Safety blanket.
Yeah, he's gonna need that safety blanket getting a second to throw the ball.
All right. Let's go over to the quarterback situation. There shouldn't be too many situations that you're really looking to pick any of these guys up this week. You should have somebody, but it's crazy. If I remember correctly, Jalen Hurts was quarterback number 9 this week, and he went absolutely off. And he was quarterback number 9, and he was number 9.
That's wild.
That just shows how much, and that's with Aaron Rodgers being a 0. There's just so much talent at the position. If you're dumpster fire diving for Teddy Bridgewater, you got some serious problems. Or, you're in a super flex that they didn't draft backups in, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no situation. I mean, at this time last year, we were on the eve of the Justin Herbert breakout.
Yep.
There's none of that here, right? Not with any of these guys.
No, maybe Jameis.
Okay.
I like Jameis. I think he's going to have a nice season.
Okay. So you think that there's a range of outcomes where he becomes a possible low-end wide quarterback 1?
Yeah, QB 1, QB 2.
Volume-wise.
He definitely throws a lot of turnovers, and he did have one last week that was not a turnover. I don't know.
Yeah, he got a freebie.
Yeah, he got hit normal, safe hit, and they're playing flag football. So he got flagged, and the turnover got turned around. So,
all right. What about so we lost Fitzmagic to an injury, which ironically is a mild version of the same injury that Tua had. It's just weird with their connection and everything like that. So he's probably going to be out for half the season or more. And it looks like Taylor Heineke is the man for now, unless, Nick, you think something else might happen?
Unless they sign Cam Newton or trade for Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
That's the only outcomes I can see here.
Well, remember, there's the Cam Newton and Ron Rivera connection. So
that's why I think Cam Newton has a legitimate possibility to land there.
Yeah. Even if he just came to kind of mentor this dude.
He won't. He won't do that. It's in his personality. He won't do it.
Dude, I don't know if you heard this. Newton actually said, and it might just be posturing for the microphone afterwards. But he said that if the Patriots gave him the opportunity to be a backup, he would have said yes and taken it.
Yeah, but he said that his aurora
right. He was already gone, so that might have been to just make him look stupid, right?
Yeah, I can't take that comment and say he'll go back up. I think he wants to start. Otherwise, he's not going to sign.
Right. All right. Sammy Darnold look decent. Not great.
No, he didn't. That stat line was overinflated.
You're looking through some goggles you shouldn't be looking through.
He checked down the McCaffrey the whole game.
Yeah, and guess what? You get the result.
He had one good pass to Robbie Anderson because the Jets secondary. I'm not sounding like a salty fan, but I think the stat line was. I am. But I think the stat line was inflated. I wouldn't go too crazy on Darnold at all.
Okay. He looked a lot better than he did anytime with us.
No, he didn't. He hit his own fullback and fumbled the football at the 1 yard line. Same Sam was still there, but with better targets.
Okay, so I'm going to be Jeff right now and do what I always do and just go with the complete opposite.
And you hated Darnold.
I'm going straight hater right now. Okay, so in his career with the Jets, he had the lowest percentage of checkdowns in all of the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. And you just said all he did was check down.
Yes.
So maybe he's being coached properly now, and maybe they're using the talents surrounding him properly, and maybe there's just enough result there to really get something done and be a productive fantasy quarterback.
That's very possible. Very possible.
Right? Maybe it wasn't a bailout, and maybe this is how they coached him. Like, look, here's read one, pop. You got the best check down in the league. Give it to him. Let him do it. Right?
It's very possible.
And the defense gave it, and the defense gave it to you, so he took what they gave.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Is all you can do, right? All right, so let's just take a couple of minutes, nothing too deep, and kind of run through the position by position going into week 2 and see if there's anybody that we really, really like. My favorite matchup on the high end and running backs is Derrick Henry against Seattle. I think if you have an opportunity to try to trade for him, right now is the time because the game flow didn't really come his way. He only dropped about 10 PPR points, but the Seattle Seahawks are just a sieve to running backs, and he's probably going to pop off. Anybody else on the high end off the top of your head that you're interested in? How about Chubb? How about Chubb? All right. Yeah, I could get behind Chubb against Houston, who has a notoriously bad. They were actually not that bad last week, but last year they were the worst against the run in all of the NFL. So that might be a good spot. I think your boy Taylor is in a good spot against the Rams, who defend the pass well and are a little shaky against the run a little bit. And let's see about what do you call it? Najee Harris against Vegas. Vegas does not stop the run very well at all. All right.
No.
So that might be his opportunity to pop off, and people are going to be down on him. These are all things to look for in DFS, right?
Melvin Gordon
looked really good. I mean, he kind of compiled all of his stats on one shot.
Yeah.
But he got the job done, man. That's all that matters. And he has that ability to go to the house like that on any given play. So I can't fault him for that one bit. All right. Anything on the wide receiver? We were up and down on our wide receiver calls last week. We gave you Tyler Lockett, and he was the stud. We said that he'd pop off over Metcalf, and it happened. We gave you Ridley, and we fell on our face with that one. It didn't happen. My takeaway, the Eagles have improved their secondary quite a bit, where I thought they were going to be the sieve. What do you think? Nick, I'm going to go to you on this one. So Debo got a massive target share.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where Brandon Ayuk was Brandon Ayuk, right?
Well,
didn't even touch the ball.
Here's my issue. The 49ers beat apparently came out and said that he was learning how to be a pro. And then the 49ers beat came out and said that Trey Sermon was outplayed by Elijah Mitchell all summer. Where the hell were these reports all preseason?
Right.
Nowhere reported nothing. It was kind of shocking to see that.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so what about my guy Thielen? I got a Thielen.
Pretty good.
Looking pretty good, and J. Jeff was not that much. I'm not too worried about either of them. I think Thielen obviously is going to be a solid PPR guy, but Jefferson's still going to be a high-end wide receiver one, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about my boy Corey Davis? I called that one, and he beasted. And he beasted in the second half when, Wilson wasn't running for his life. I think that if they protect him a little better, he could improve. They got a good connection.
Yeah, definitely. It looked good, man. I wish he was in the Macho Quattro, man, instead of everything else we did, because you still had him in your lineup. He just wasn't a core player.
Yeah.
So, we didn't give it out as heavy as we should have. I'd look for Keenan Allen to pop off this week against Dallas. He was kind of quiet this week. I think that's another one that'll come back. I would be all in on Ridley because against Tampa Bay, they're going to have to throw. You got to keep the score up there. So there's a couple of guys that were on the high end that kind of disappointed last week. Nick, any other wide receivers you got your eye on this week?
I want to see the Packers bounce back.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to see how they respond on Monday night. I mean, it's against Detroit in Lambeau, primetime. I think we'll see. Maybe it's all a grand scheme. Maybe Rodgers is just back to sabotage. Maybe his season's in jeopardy.
You know what I heard?
You didn't see what I did there? Nobody laughed?
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Nick. Good one. Wow. I actually heard, and I don't know if this means anything, but Aaron Rodgers had 2 games in the last 5 years where he had under 200 yards and 2 interceptions, and they were both in the state of Florida.
Yeah, interesting.
Maybe that's a thing. Maybe he hates Florida.
He could hate Florida. He hates Florida, man.
Maybe it's like something about Mary, and he took over for Brett Favre, and went down to Miami and it didn't work out. I don't know.
Man bun.
Oh, yep. You're a hater. Yep. All right. We already kind of talked about tight ends. Dude, Darren Waller, man. Holy crap.
Targets.
Holy Jesus crap. But here's the thing, right? What you have to look at is, like I said, you got to look at the other side of the ball. And who they play? They played Baltimore. Guess who plays Baltimore this week? Travis Kelce. 19 targets in a beast game for Waller, and now Kelce gets them this week. So what do you think's going to happen? It's time to eat, Mr. Kelce. So, Gesicki.
Donut.
No,
somebody said this.
He can catch passes on the other side of his house, but that's about it.
Yeah, he caught one on his head, but there was a penalty on the play. It came back 2 targets, no yards, man. Even in tight end premium, that's still a 0. Ugly. I'm telling you, man. And it's going to be even more this week with Fuller 5 coming back. Gesicki's not going to be in the game plan, man. It's not happening. Waddle's going to come out of the slot. If you're starting Gesicki, you need to look at some other options. I probably would take Troutman over him moving forward. Pains me to say it, but I think that's where I'm at. All right. Any other quarterbacks that kind of jumped out at you this week or that you're looking forward to a bounce back from next week?
Bounce back in the second half. I like to see what Zach Wilson can do with protection. That'd be nice to see. Poor kid was ESPN reported it was like 7 of 8 when he had 2.5 seconds to throw the ball.
Dude, what a game for Jimmy G, man. I love Jimmy G last week. He looked good. He looked good.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to last long.
I know, but still, let me enjoy the moment. I like it.
Right. Yeah. So Nick, here's the over/under. Ready? Who's gonna be the first to play a full game? Fields or Lance?
Fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dalton looks terrible.
All right. I'll take that. They both saw the field, and they both got in the box. They both got in the box, too.
Yep. Fields had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, and Lance threw for one.
Yep.
So, all right. So we're saying Fields before Lance this year.
I think so.
All right. I can dig that. All right. You guys got anything else you want to touch on before we get the hell out of here?
I do. I had a little bit of a rant real quick. It was gonna be a happy rant, but we skipped it and everything with all the excitement. So obviously we played, and you introduced me to it. We played on Owner's Box this week, and if no one knows that really, and you don't really know what's going on, it's like Superflex. It's awesome, and it's the only site out there that has a Superflex. Jeff got me all excited for it. I got a $10 free ticket into 11,700 people in there. Okay. Now no one really knows about it. Only filled 44% of the tournament. only 5,200
massive
were in
overlay,
there. Yeah. Huge overlay. I had a $10 free ticket, and I was at like $150 going into. The only thing is, after the 4 o'clock games, I was up like $150. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a nice cash. I'm about to cash, and then all of a sudden the 8 o'clock game started. So it's an all-day Sunday game, and I wound up finishing like 66 out of like 5,200 and hit for something, but it was free money. But you guys got to check it out. Owner's Box, Superflex. It's awesome.
Yeah, Superflex DFS is fun. I didn't fare so well because I had a little bit of Aaron Rodgers in one of my lineups because some smart guy I know recommended him as a DFS play last week, and it didn't fall apart. It kind of fell apart, but that's all good. All right, Nick, you got anything else you want to touch on before you go eat some cake?
No, I'm good. Going to sleep. And do my waivers.
Too, I'm beat. All right, guys, we got a lot going on here. Next up, so waivers starts running tonight. Next up will be Nick with his Stardom Situm article. What day do we put that out, bro?
It was Friday morning.
Friday morning, somewhere around that same time, late Friday. I'll be releasing my DFS article, which I will be writing in concert with Trader Andy. Friday night, we'll be live on this channel right here at about 9 o'clock. Talking through our DFS playbook, which apparently last week it sucked. Right?
Hashtag we suck.
Hashtag we suck. All right, I'll take it, man. You got to take the good with the bad, man. We had a below average week. Although I didn't lose. I broke even. It's just didn't get there. Didn't get there. If you don't get to the process. Yeah, if you don't get to the box, it feels like a loss. But breaking even is part of the process as well. All right, so we got a lot going on. Please, guys, as always, if you're watching us on YouTube, take the 5 seconds and hit that subscribe button no matter where else you're watching us. Smash that like and spread the word. We got big things going on we're real excited about, and we're giving up all of our sleep to provide the best content we possibly can for you. Don't forget also, please, we got Rally for Reed coming up on October 2nd. We're raising money for this amazing young man and his family. It's scrolling along the bottom if you're watching. It's Venmo, please, to @hello, my name is Reed, REED. Please, guys, like I said, the amount of time that you spend putting your lineups in or your waiver claims in, you could have donated $1 to this amazing family and helped them out. I'm Jeff Trella at JTrella20. That guy over there at AMAC22NJ. The birthday boy in the bottom over there at NMimi. Trevor, thanks for all you do. This has been the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast. Trevor, take us out. Thanks for everything, guys. Peace out.
See you.
All right.